So how many of you woke up this morning and said, "Good morning, God," or "Good God, it's morning"? I'll get a feel for the room. I believe that all of us in this room, we all have a goal that we all want to be successful in our personal and professional lives. As I travel the country and work with professionals like yourself and speak at different events for associations and organizations and do trainings and all kind of other fun meetings, I always get to meet people that are always looking to get better at what they do. They always want to strive and get better and get sharper and learn more and understand how to get better, whatever position they have within their organization. How do they get better? How do they get better in life? And I know that we all have that particular goal. I know that we all have that common goal because you wouldn't be sitting here today. You wouldn't be part of the company that you are trying to make your company or your organization or your association better. Now, along the way, and you'll agree with me on this, as we're trying to strive towards that goal of success, whatever our definition of success is, we have some pitfalls. We have a negative event, negative circumstances, challenges, setbacks, whatever you want to call them. We all reach those on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It's called life. Now, these things can cause us fear, anxiety, bitterness, stress. You guys don't have that much of a stressful job, do you? Not at all, right? You don't. I know people that are in your position, that you're in the people position, the people industry, and I know that people that are in your industry, they don't like people. Some people, right? Have you ever noticed that? Now, that happens in every organization. It happens in every industry. It's just life. But there are some ways and some people out there that can get through this. Some people, and if you're not careful, you can get stuck. As I coach and train, I coach CEOs, I train sales organizations, customer service organizations, I have leadership presentations that I do, leadership trainings that I do. I just noticed that a lot of people can get stuck. They allow these events, these circumstances, these setbacks, these challenges to get the best of them. But here's the great thing. I've seen people get through them. I've seen people that are successful and get through these problems, these situations, these growing pains, as we call them. But why is it, though, that you think some people are more successful than others? Why do you think some people can get through these things? And I have a few answers for me, if you don't mind. Why do you think some people are more successful than others?
I think some people are just more resilient.
Resilient.
All about attitude.
Attitude, I'll pay you later. What else?
Some are very lucky.
Some are very lucky, I tell you what. I just spoke at a conference in Gulf Shores 2 weeks ago, and that was the #1 answer was luck. So, they have goals, absolutely. Now, wouldn't you agree? Now, those are all great answers. Now, wouldn't you agree with me that we're all creatures of habit? I'll prove it. I'll prove this to you. We're going to do a quick exercise. I'd like everybody to please put your hands together real quick for me. Cross your thumbs the opposite way. And how does that feel? Does that feel awkward? A little bit, right? How about crossing your arms for me and crossing them the opposite way? Feels a little awkward, right? Now I'd like you to go ahead and please put your hands back together for me real quick. And if you put your left thumb over your right thumb, please stand up for me. Left over right. We're going to stand up real quick. Left over right. We're going to give all of you a round of applause. You all are the smartest people in the room, okay? So we're going to do a quick round of applause. Yeah. If you'd like to sit down, if you put your right thumb over your left thumb, please stand up for me. Real quick, we're going to give you a round of applause. You all are the sexiest people in the room. I share that with you, and I'm going to pick on you for a second. Mandy actually had her side by side. She said she's sexier and smarter than all of you all, right? I'm picking on her. Make sure to give me a little more time. I share that with you because we are creatures of habit. I've asked that question several thousand times in my career. Why are some people more successful than others? The #1 answer that I received was positive attitude. As I train sales professionals, as I train customer service, as I train leaders, it all comes back to the attitude that they have. When Stanford did a study, that 87.5% of our success is derived from our positive attitude. 12.5% is derived from the people that we know and the education that we get. When I decided to write my book, Get Off Your Attitude, that book was I put in there, and from learning from Napoleon Hill, W. Clement Stone, any speaker, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, any of the gentlemen that I've got to meet and work with, they all told me that their number one habits of success was their positive attitude as they were growing their businesses. And as I got to interview people and learn from people, learn from successful people, learn from unsuccessful people, that it was all their attitude that got them where they are, good or bad. And I never forget, while I was researching this, I never forget looking at Webster's dictionary, looking it up. What does attitude mean? And it states this: it's the way we think or feel about someone or something. But see, I think it's more than that. After researching and studying and working with people and working with organizations, I think it's about people that are strong-minded. I think it's about someone that knows what they want, they have a goal, they're set, they don't let nothing get in their way, and they have the attitude that it's going to get done. It's going to get done, and they're not going to have any obstacles let them get in the way, or any obstacles get in the way. I think it's about being inspirational. I think it's about, as a leader within your organization, going to your work every single day, or in your family, being inspirational, not showing up being negative, inspiring others to do a great job. Belong to associations. Why would they belong to your association? Why would they belong to your organization? Being inspirational, people want to follow people that inspire them. It's also about being responsible, doing the things that you need to do to make your organization or yourself a success, with no excuses. It's also about being dedicated, and it's also about being disciplined. So about doing things when you don't feel like doing them. But I think there's something else added to this, and I learned this right where I live in Mandeville, Louisiana. It's how we respond to life. It's how we respond. See, the problem is not the problem. It's the attitude that we have for that problem. That's where the issue comes into play. Let me show you the best example. One particular morning, I'm on my way to my office. I usually get Starbucks, or I used to get Starbucks, and Amy will laugh. I used to get Starbucks, but when I had my little girl, now she's 4, that $5 latte, my wife's like, no more $5 lattes, that's diaper money. All right, so I had to go to my old school coffee, McDonald's. So this one particular morning, I'm on my way to the office, I decided to pull at McDonald's. There's about 10 cars in line. I was like, I'm in a rush, cannot wait, so I decided to park, walk in McDonald's, and I'm glad that I did. There's a lady opening the door, closing the door, saying, thank you for coming. Please come back. We'll see you next week. We'll see you tomorrow. She even knew some of the patrons by name. And I'm watching this lady, and I'm like, wow, talk about attitudes can be contagious. We've heard that before, right? Smiles being contagious. So as I walk into this McDonald's, I'm listening to her, and she's talking to people, and she's laughing, and all this good stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go sit in the corner, and I'm going to watch. I was mesmerized by this lady. So I go sit in the corner. She's now sweeping the room. She comes up to me, she introduces herself. She goes, hi, my name is Miss Janine. I said, hi, my name is Ryan. She said, Ryan, do you mind if I sweep underneath your table? I said, no, go right ahead. So I lift up my legs, she sweeps right underneath, and I had to ask her, why do you have such a great smile, great attitude today? What's going on? She said, God's got me on this great green earth, and I'm just happy to be here. So just like that, her attitude changed my attitude. I was still kind of groggy and kind of sleepy and worried about all the things I had going on that day. So before I left, I walked up to her and said, Miss Janine, do you like books? She goes, absolutely. I said, I'd love to give you a book. It's called Get Off Your Attitude. I said, it's all about positive attitude. I said, I wish I could take you with me to all of my presentations and bottle you up and just present you. Because you are the epitome of a positive attitude in the workplace. So I asked her, I said, well, look, if you don't mind, follow me to my car. I'd like to sign a book for you. I said, and I have a Get Off Your Attitude bracelet. I'd love to give that to you. And I would love to, I would just really wish I could take you with me. So as we're talking a little bit longer, I'm signing the book, and she tells me a couple of things I wasn't ready for. She said, Mr. Ryan, I said, well, I asked her again, I said, why do you have such a great attitude? What is the, what's going on? And she said, well, I just left my husband after 20 years. He verbally, physically, and mentally abused me. She said, but I just opened up my first checking account. I just started my first job, and I bought myself my first car. And this lady was probably in her late 40s. Just like that, I'm kind of tearing up. Start talking a little bit more. I'm signing the book. And she tells me two more things that I wasn't ready for as well. She said, I can't read, but I'm going to have somebody read the book to me. Then she goes on to tell me that she lives in the car that she just bought. See, ladies and gentlemen, I just gave you the best snapshot photo of what a positive attitude is. It's not being about happy-go-lucky. It's not being just putting a smile on your face and running around thinking everything's great. It's how do we respond to life. Charles Swindoll said it best. Life is 10% what happens, 90% on how we respond to it. So here's one great way to respond to negativity or adversity. Let me see everybody's pretty smile. Come on. Come on, come on. I got to work on some of you. I want you to tell your neighbor real quick what a beautiful smile they have. Now I want you to tell your neighbor that you just didn't tell your neighbor that you just didn't tell that to. Give a little something in their teeth, all right? So real quick, one afternoon, my wife and I are crossing the causeway. If you don't know that, it's the longest bridge across water. I live in Mandeville to New Orleans. I've got to take that every time I fly out of New Orleans to go to a presentation or go see family. I got some bad news that one afternoon. My wife looks at me. We get halfway across. We're at mile marker 14, 15. She looks over at me, and if you know this, please don't say it. She says, Ryan, stop pouting. I said, I know. This is driving me insane. And then a few minutes later, she looks at me and she says, Ryan, smile, it increases your face value. I said, where did you get that? She said, I made it up. So what do you think I did with it? Stole it, put it in my book, put my name on it. It was my new quote. It was all over Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. All of a sudden, I get a phone call a month later from my publisher. I put it in my book, everything. He said, Mr. Lowe, you cannot take ownership of that quote. You stole it. I said, absolutely. I stole it from my wife. Come to find out, she stole it from Stealing Noise. I was like, we have a small child. That's not a great, no more stealing, okay? But it's smile, it increases your face value. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever role that you have in your organization, we have to stay positive. We have to walk in with a smile. We have to show people that we are confident, we know what's going on, and we know where we're going. Most of the most successful people in the world, even when things are down, the chips are down, life's not going their way, they put a smile on their face. And here's another way that we can combat adversity, and we can combat, or we can help others and inspire others, is by educating ourselves, investing in ourselves. When I moved from Slidell, Louisiana to Dallas, Texas, I sold vacation packages and calling cards over the phone. So if you recognize my voice, it's not me that called you, okay? 8 in the morning until 8 at night, we smiled and dialed. I had the job for 3 months. It was all paid commission. Did not get $1 for showing up. Had this job for 3 months and got fired. Never forget calling back to my parents in Louisiana. Mom, I got fired. Don't worry about it. Being the positive mom, you'll find a better job. Just, learn from it. Hear my dad in the background. My dad's going, yeah, let me talk to him real quick. I'm trying to hang up by now. He gets on the phone, that 10-second pause felt like a 10-minute pause. Son, how do you get fired from a job they don't pay you for in the first place? Okay? You want to talk about tough, but I'll leave you with this. It's a success factor, and I learned it a long time ago. 4-4-4. You read 4 books per year, you listen to 4 audio sets, and you go to 4 seminars, 2 within your industry and 2 outside of your industry. That is the success formula. I learned that from Brian Tracy, if y'all are familiar with him. I traveled with Brian for 8 years. That's how I cut my teeth in sales training, sales coaching, working with sales organizations across this country, and then decided to learn how to do keynotes. And luckily, I was very blessed on doing that. Now I'm based out of Mandeville, Louisiana, and I go around working with associations, organizations just like yours, to help them take their staff and get them better at what they do. And let me tell you, it's not that hard. It's all about how do we lead with a positive attitude, how do we lead with positivity, how do we sell, how do we serve, how do we give to others, how do we understand. And I tell people this too, we've got to bring our A game every day. We've got to think about when we wake up in the morning, it's attitude. What attitude am I going to take on the day? The second one is actions. What actions am I going to write my goals, look at them on a consistent basis, and look at my time? And then the third one is accountability. Am I holding myself accountable, and am I holding my staff accountable? And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for having me today. And I want you to remember this, that every one of us has a choice every day to get off our attitude. Thank y'all for having me today. I appreciate it.